So what I'm installing here is a door frame. We've got a kind of knockdown component frame that's been supplied, and this is the door jamb section along with our door here. So I'm going to show you how to put it up. This is the second one of these that I put up. I did the first one earlier on today to get all of my measurements. So I'll show you how it's done. What they recommend to do in the Paal construction kit is to make a little work platform like this and lay your door out on it. The reason being is that all of these doors are pre-hung, as in they've already got the hinges on them, and the jambs have got their hinge components on there as well. In my pocket here I have the pins which will slot down and tie it all together at the end. So what we have to do, because it has been pre-hung, I have already measured how high my floor is going to be, so I get to trim a bit off the bottom to match that. So when that sits down on the floor and it reaches up to the top, that's the height of my door jamb, which fits my door frames inside. So we need to trim off the bottom and the top so that the door, when it's hung on these pre-built hinges, pre-installed hinges, it sits in the right position. There's a little bit of measuring the first time, but for a lot of the rest of the doors you can repeat those measurements without too much fuss. So here we are putting the braces in for our door frame. So what I've had to do, these little adjusters fit here on this particular door frame. You can see I've cut out little tabs for where there's some extra framing for the noggins on the wall frames there. So I made little cutouts to fit that in, so that will just push in and over like so. And what this enables us to do is, if your wall is slightly out of plumb, it lets us adjust this piece so that it is plumb for this side of the door, and similarly for this side of the door. This one is halfway in. Just leave that there. And what I've had to do with this one, which is slightly different because I have this might be difficult to see, but there's a wall angle here, so it kind of interferes with how this gets fitted in. So I'll take this out. I've had to put a few more little cutouts in, not on every side. It all depends on where I put the rivets on the wall angle. Fitting these in is really easy. They're designed so that they clip in over these exposed edges, and I just need to line it up where my holes are with where the rivets are, and make sure that it goes behind, in this case, my wall frame or wall angle. It's easier if you start at the top or the bottom. Now, that's not going in because the rivets on the rear are holding the wall angle in very, very tightly. So I'm going to need to fix that. So these can go in quite firmly right up against it if your wall's pretty good. This wall I happen to know is quite good, and this one's not too bad either, so I won't have to do too much adjusting for the door jambs when that goes in. So the idea being that even though I'm pushing this in, I can pull it out slightly if I need to, a little bit higher at the bottom or a little bit lower down here. So the process for this side is the same. This one's a little bit easier because there's no wall angle in the way. So again, just line it up. So that's the process for that. It's very easy. So I'll get the door frame and we'll put it in. So I've got the door frame in. I haven't pushed it in yet. It's just kind of sitting there. So I'll show you how I do it. What we need to do is center the wooden section on the wall frame itself. What I have here is a offcut of plasterboard, because in theory that's what goes on the wall. So when the door frame comes out, it should be even line with the front of this. So I'll show you on this wall, just here, because you may be able to see that a little bit better. So if I turn this around, so just here, if I zoom in on that just a little bit, you'll see here that this door frame overlaps the steel frame by 1 centimetre, which is the thickness of this plasterboard. Plasterboard, when it's sheeted, will butt up against here and provide a nice flat surface there. That's what we're aiming for on both sides of the door. So these are pre-measured to fit that. So we're going to try that down there and see how we go. Magic. I'll push this in. Now, and what I've done that you won't be able to see in the camera frame is at the bottom I have spaces that are the height of my floor, so that I know that my floor will go under my door jambs. The other thing that's quite important is that the top is dead flat. So that's a lot better where that is. One thing that I should point out with this wood is that it's pretty straight, but it's not always straight. For example, this top piece actually cups very slightly, and the ends are never cut straight. So when you're cutting them, what I found is you make your own straight cut and measure off that first. And that way you know that it's going to fit. So now that that's roughly right, let me measure this. So obviously this door needs to come out more this way. 5 or 6 I'll put up each side, 1 or 2 on the top. What you probably want to think about also is where your door latches are going to go, just in case. But our vanity strip, not vanity strip, door stop on this door hides all of the screw heads so we don't see it. So that's one side in. Really straightforward. This side is the same process. In theory, this is the completed door frame. It's 2 more steps to go. One is to hang the door, just make sure it fits. The second is that now this is all centered and plumb and true and all of that stuff, is to come through and rivet the metal slips that we put in. To stop them moving, so that the door frames have something real solid to anchor to. Because at the moment, with enough force, you can pull them off. But with the rivets, you won't be able to. So let's see if the door fits. Beautiful. Let's open shut. And then, as a safety feature, the door just lifts off and goes away. So now that that's done, I'll rivet this in place and this door frame's done.